Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I know it's a little early for another garden update, but things are getting done around here and I got to get these videos shot and up as soon as I can. So I wanted to tell you what happened here today as far as the garden goes. I decided I was going to try something new. Now you can see all these overturned hanging pots. Yes, these were hanging pots that we bought for growing different things, you know, to make the most of our small space. But over the years, I've just come to get really tired of them because they're very hard to keep hydrated. Plants don't do really great in there because they dry out too easily, even here in Rain Country, because the water just, when you water them, it just goes right through. And then finding a good place to hang them where they can get plenty of sun is also an issue. I only have one pot in one place that does good for growing pansies. So what I decided to do is this area right here is the front yard potato patch. Now, if you saw my last video on our garden, I did the whole bird's eye thing and bird's eye view thing, and then drew a map. Well, this is that potato patch area, you know, right in front of the house. And my stinging nettle is over here. You can probably see it here in the camera. Maybe, let me pan over here. So there's my stinging nettle. I cut it back quite a ways. I'm not quite done cutting it for the first, the first harvest, because I am getting so much off of there. And it's only the first harvest, but I do have a video coming out about that, but it will be later, talking about the benefits of stinging nettle and so on and so forth. But anyway, so what I decided to do is we finally made the choice to go ahead and buy some more of the movable electric fencing that we can put around this front yard area so that we can let the chickens free range out here. They really want out here badly because there's lots of worms, there's lots of baby slugs, especially hiding out in the stinging nettle. They love it there, the slugs do, and I've been feeding them to the chickens. Well, now they realize where them slugs are coming from and they're wanting out here badly. And so it's like, well, we've been wanting to let them come out here in free range because what they've done for our backyard gardens and keeping those slugs at bay has really just made just a huge difference in our slug population. But I need to get them out here to do the same thing. And so what I've done is I planted my potatoes. I have to get my potatoes in the ground, but I want the chickens to free range in this area for a while yet. We're going to fence in this whole front yard once that fencing comes in. And then, so what I did is, I'm going to go ahead and put some pictures here too so you can kind of follow along in that way, was I took all the pots that are no longer in use, all but the one, and took everything out of them and then took the chains off of them. And I have another idea for the chains that I'll be showing you eventually. And anyway, that I think is going to be pretty cool. But then I put the potatoes in there and put the pot upside down on top of it. Then I drove just a stick through the pot into the ground to keep it from moving, because you know the chickens, they have really strong legs and feet, and they can move those pots if they really wanted to. But this way, you know, it will keep them. I've actually tried this in other areas in the backyard and it works really well. These are just a nice looking way to do it, and it also lets me know where I can walk without stepping on my potatoes until they come up. Then, of course, obviously I won't be able to keep them on there forever, but by the time the potatoes get to a certain height that I want that I'm going to want to take these off there, then it's not going to matter. They're either going to be well established that the chickens are going to leave them alone. I don't have to worry about them digging them up. Or by then I'm thinking I'm probably going to be keeping the chickens out of this area anyway, because I'll be planting zucchini, direct seeding the zucchini in this section right here. Okay, right there is one of the rhubarbs where I split it in half. And then the other one is over there where that other stick is. And that was because Patrick came through here and tilled this up yesterday. And that was so he'd know right where those rhubarbs were and not run them over. But anyway, so I think this is going to work really good for us and give the chickens another place where they can get lots of good protein and also keep the pests down in our garden, as well as protecting my potatoes. And you know, it does look a little bit nicer than that cheap green fencing stuff that I was using. Now I'm going to take you around back and show you a couple more things before I finish up this video. Actually, before I go out back, I wanted to show you this. I actually just harvested a whole bunch off this time, and this time right here, and a couple more, one around the corner there. But and also off those pansies. So my pansies are doing okay, even though they're getting eaten by bugs, but these were ones that were planted last year and they're coming back. But this here, this is the valerian. So those who've been following me for a while know I've been trying to grow valerian for a couple of years, and this was the one I put in last year, and it survived the winter and it's doing really good so far. So I decided to go ahead and start some more valerian seed yesterday. Oh, and there's another pansy that's coming up from last year, so very cool. Okay, now we'll head around back. All right, this right here is another thing I wanted to show you, and I forgot to mention in my last video where I was showing the map. This is the red gooseberry. It has a Japanese name. It starts with an H that I've already forgot what it is, so I'm going to go ahead and put it right here in the text so you can see that. I bought this at the end of the season last year. I'd been trying to hunt one down, really wanted it because it just has this delicious fruit that tastes a lot like a sweet tart, just wonderful. And my friend had one and I tried it and I just had to have it. And I went to the local nursery. They didn't think they had any. I got to looking around in there where they just had a bunch of old plants that weren't selling. And I saw this and it had little berries on it, and I tasted one and they looked like the red gooseberry. So I tasted one. They didn't have a tag on it. And I didn't even know what it was. And sure enough, it was that. And so I bought it, and it was in a pot about probably a third of the size of this one, and then I planted it into a pot about that size last year. And then yesterday I dug this out. I had to dig it out because we used to have another plum tree in here that died. It lasted a couple years, never got any fruit, and then it just died. So I had to dig the stump of it out of there, and the root ball, it was just all twisted around in there, so that I could plant this in there, and I think it's going to do really good. And so now it'll be up here with our blueberries and the grapevines and so on and so forth. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, out here in the greenhouse, you can see I got some of my tomatoes planted in the ground. So I have them all labeled. So I plant them in such an order because right now I'm facing north. And so we get most of our sun from the side that I'm standing on, and then through this front window here. This window here actually used to be the window at the front of our house, and we had to have all the windows replaced. But anyway, so what I have in here is I have those free seeds that I got from Baker Creek, the black vernissage, I think it's called. And then here are the black brandywines. I have 3 and 3, and then 2 of the purples. I don't know what they are. We think maybe they're a Cherokee purple. It was just some organic heirloom tomatoes I had bought at the store. That was just a bunch of mixed tomatoes, and I thought they tasted so good I saved the seeds from them. Then I grew them last year, and then saved the seeds from those, and now I'm growing them some more. So the ones that are in the pot, that's more of the same. And then same thing here. So I've got the Rio Grande Romas, and the reason those are planted on this side, the tomatoes that are planted here, are ones that don't get as tall, because I want to keep the shorter plants on this side so they don't overshadow plants on that side. And so I got 3 of the Rio Grande here. Actually, no, I think that's what these are all the way across. Yeah, that's right. These are all Rio Grandes here. And then same thing there. I tried to keep them the ones that I know stay smaller. So I've got the Italian ones, the Castelluto, Genovese. And then over here, I can't remember how big these ones get, so I put them back this way. These are the black Japanese trifle, I think it's pronounced, or trifle, some people say. And then again, more of just the extra plants. So they're staying in here, the extra plants are staying in here in the pots until the weather, I know that we're not going to have any more hard freezes for sure. And then some of these I'll plant outside, and then some I'll probably just give away to friends. Because I do keep trying some outside, and I found that this section just outside of the greenhouse does pretty well for tomatoes. That's the only outside section I found here that does good for tomatoes. And then over here you can see my peppers are coming along. This is the Chinese 5-color. These are the ones I got from Ellen. Still looking great, Ellen. I've got some bee balm. The milkweed's coming along. The stevia. My echinacea. Over here are the Marconis. These are the ones I got from Jen. There's one jalapeno over here, and then yesterday I started some more of the valerian and Korean hyssop, so of course they're not doing anything yet. This is still not doing anything, and I don't have anything in these. I'm going to be probably starting some more. So one thing I want to say about valerian that I found a trick to it to get it to germinate is when you put it in your pot, take those little small seeds and do this with them. Kind of crush them a little bit before you drop them into your soil. And that's what made the difference in me be able to finally get some to actually germinate. Okay, well, there's a lot more I could go on about in the garden because, you know, there's a lot going on, but I just wanted this to be a somewhat quick video. There'll be more updates coming. It might even be that I do at least 2 garden update videos a week. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so things are exciting, things are coming along, and I do want to say one more thing. I keep talking about how we get all of this rain in the spring. It has not hit us yet. It's been very odd. We've had this very long stretch of weather like this, and that is not common this time of year for us. It usually doesn't get like this for such a long stretch until right after the 4th of July. And then from then we get weather like this quite often. But I'm still waiting for those spring rains to come. They could come at any time, so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's just going to be an uncharacteristically dry season this year, or if suddenly all the rains are going to come later than usual and it's just going to drown everything. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm also hoping it's not going to be dry either, because we need that rainwater. We need to keep our rainwater collection up to get us through the hottest and driest parts of the summer. Okay, anyway, I'm going to finish up. So I hope you enjoyed this video and be watching for more updates coming. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.